Hello, 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 Miss Nicole.
Hi, hi, hi. How are you?
I'm doing
Again,
good, doing
that's
good.
good.
We are back at this again.
We
Nicole
are.
decided to give us another visit, and we're here to discuss renovation loans. I know we touched on it just a tad bit the last time that me and Nicole was together, but we had an opportunity to take a look at a home that would need some renovations. Well, not necessarily renovations, but upgrades. And
Mm-hmm.
that was last week. We went to go see that.
Yeah.
Was it last
It
week?
it needed a facelift, some finesse.
Right.
A little finesse.
Need some finesse. And so we want to get in a little bit more detail about how it works to give you guys a better idea the purpose of the renovation loan. So if you don't remember, the biggest thing with the renovation now is going to be scenario based, but if if you're in the market to purchase a home, you're getting away from like the turnkey houses that you see out there in the market. What
Mm-hmm.
Nicole and I was talking about was giving yourself another set of homes that you can look at. And the benefit
Exactly.
on this route is it allows you to go in and make the home your own. You'll see a lot of times on a listing that it would say will only qualify for a cash buyer, like an investor special or renovation loan. And what they're saying is it's not a turnkey property. So you can't
Mm-hmm.
traditional financing to purchase this home. You have to use a renovation loan because it either needs a kitchen, it needs a bathroom, it may need some repairs done to the home. And this loan would allow you to do that. And one of the benefits of it is you're not putting down 15 to 20% like your typical investor loan. You still are coming to the table with the minimum requirements, which would be like for this case with the 2 or 3K, which is strictly for FHA, is 3.5%. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what me and Nicole wanted to go over with you guys today. And so, Nicole, as far as you're concerned as a realtor, um, why do you think like a renovation loan would probably be beneficial for a lot of people that's out there that's looking for homes?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons why I do think it would be beneficial. One of the main reasons is when you're talking about first time home buyers and just the way that the housing market is, um, for what people are wanting and what they are approved for, it doesn't quite match. So they're wanting this new construction, very custom built home that's just move-in ready, where their budget may not allow for that, where the renovation loan will allow them to see a home that has great bones, has great structure, and allow them in potential great neighborhood location that they may want to hit. And they have the ability to customize it in certain aspects. Um, that's to me one of the biggest benefits of why I think a renovation loan is a great alternative to these home buyers right now.
And it sounds like even like with new construction, because with new construction, I guess I compare it to buying a brand new car. You could buy a brand new car and pay the top premium for that car, or
Hmm.
hang around for like a couple of months.
Yeah, wait for it to drop a little. And then, the good thing, a lot of people, when you hear construction, right, on a loan, or if you hear construction on a property, you are almost intimidated by like the time frame of how long that would take. So knowing that this renovation loan, there's a certain criteria of the time frame that it can take for your project to be done. Whereas if you go into new construction, some new constructions won't be done for a whole year. So you're possibly able to, depending on your loan type, get into your home while the renovations are being done or within a certain time frame. So that's not as intimidating and it doesn't feel as so far away before you can get into your dream home and start your memories.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I will also add in there that the lender is going to help throughout the whole process. So it's not like
Exactly.
you're doing this by yourself. And if you go through like a new construction type of a situation, you just kind of let the contractor do their thing. In this situation, you have a limited time to get moved in, and we're going
Hmm.
to go over that for sure. But you said something that was key is like it can be a little intimidating when you hear. Well, it's two different types. So you have one where say that they're building out development and it's
Hmm.
kind of like in cruise control at that point. But when you're doing a true new construction to perm is what they call it.
Exactly.
When you're buying the land and it's just you and the contractor, the GC or whatever, and that's a, that's two different types of situations. I think the
It
first one is
is.
a lot easier because you don't have anything to worry about. On the second one, it leans heavily on you, and a lot of times that's two different loans too. So they're giving you what they call like a bridge loan. So they
Mm-hmm.
to purchase the land, and you pay the contractors and draws, and when you're done, then you come back in and refinance it into your permanent loan. So this right here, the thing I like about the 2 or 3K or most renovation loans now, it's a one-time close. And what that
Exactly.
means is instead of you having to close twice, you close like you normally do with a regular FHA loan or conventional loan. So uh, 30 days, 45 days, it kind of depends with this situation here, but we'll just say
Mm-hmm.
35 days. So you still go through your regular closing, and when you're done, that's when the construction starts. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And then you have the one payment, like you're not paying like, like think of the hard money, you got to pay that back and all these things. You have one payment. So the I think the most probably annoying process in this whole thing is finding the right home and depending on your loan type, finding a home that maybe like if you got a limited loan type, making sure it doesn't have structural issues because knowing
Right.
that your loan type won't cover that. But this process, what I like about this one is you have your team up front.
Hmm.
So basically going into the situation, it's almost like when you think you're about to get like surgery or something like that, and you want to meet your team of doctors in advance, and like, okay, this is my anesthesiologist, this is my doctor for this, whatever. You feel prepared. I feel like that's the best way to look at the situation with building a house. Like you have your whole team of professionals who are going into this process with you, so they're just waiting for you to find that right home, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so let's do this because I know that we're throwing around some words here. I'm
Okay.
going to add in a slide, and this here, guys, I actually got this from. Let me change my view here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I actually got this from the HUD website, and
Mm-hmm.
breaks down how the 2 or 3K works. Now, I want to emphasize this is strictly for FHA. So if you hear 2 or 3K, a lot of people use that for like all renovation loans, but it's strictly for FHA. If you go to the second page, is what I want to concentrate on. So Nicole and I we mentioned standard versus limited, and this is what we're referring to. So with the
Mm-hmm.
standard loan, well, let's go to limited. I think it's easy going that route. So
Yeah.
is the more you're not looking at major construction. So as you can see here, non-structural work up to $75,000. And guys, that just changed because originally it was 35,000. In November of 2024, they changed that. The one thing I like
Mm-hmm.
about FHA and all these programs, they stay with the time. So anytime the market changes and they see that they may need to make changes to the programs, they do that and they submit that out, and we get the update on this to deliver to you guys. But it says non-minimum amount of repair costs, because with the standard there is that you have to fulfill at least 5,000 in repair costs. With
Mm-hmm.
limit, there's no minimum. FHA approved 2 or 3K, consultant not required. Yeah. So if you see here, it says consultant not required. What they're referring to is they still recommend that you use a HUD consultant. You don't have to, but on the standard, you have to use a HUD consultant. So that's why they have that highlight there that is not required. But the whole idea of the HUD consultant is to walk you through the process to make sure that the draws have been taken care of with the contractors and that they're staying on task. Because
Mm-hmm.
with the new construction project or construction project, it could get out of hand. So their job is
It
to make
can.
sure that the bids that's coming in, that it actually makes sense. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times these HUD consultants, they're contractors themselves, so they fully understand the process. And they had to get approved by FHA, so they have the proper license to do this. But they're your consultant to help you throughout the process. What would you going to sound like? You was going to say something, Nicole?
No, I'm. You actually answered. I was going to say, what if they wanted to know what is a consultant? Um, I guess for for the client, if they ask like, when do they find all these things? You know how sometimes when you are purchasing a home, the standard type of FHA loan, and you're going into the transaction, um, you don't do a lot of this stuff until after you're under contract.
Right.
So what is the difference between like as a like act treat me like I am a buyer who's doing a new
Oh
construction and they say like, hey Gary, Mr. Taylor, I'm confused on this limited loan. Like what do do I have to find all these people? And yeah.
Yeah, really good question. So yeah, so the FHA 203K is very similar to your traditional FHA.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start off just like you normally would. There's a few differences between the two. So of course we have to look at your credit, make sure you have at least a 620 credit score.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and some say 580, but if you want to have options, I always say at least a 620. So 620
Exactly.
to qualify for the program. We've got to make sure your debt ratios make sense. And if you
Mm-hmm.
have what the debt ratio is, that's when we use your income divided by your liabilities. And it gives us a percentage. And that's how we know what you will qualify for as far as your monthly payment. The other thing is just to make sure that you qualify for the FHA loan. So once we do that, with a 203K, we have to take it a step further. And I should have had this set up where I could write on the screen. But so just easy math. So say you go out, you find a home that's 100,000 and you
Mm-hmm.
want to purchase for 100,000. So you go in, you go in with Nicole and your contractor because you want to find a contractor up front. The contractor needs to be licensed and insured,
Mm-hmm.
not like a handyman or your uncle, your brother, and you can't do anything like that. It
Yeah.
has to be a company that do these type of projects all the time.
And they're not related to you. Please, let's rest on that part. They cannot be related to you.
Can't have any ties to the property, none whatsoever, or anyone that's associated with the property. That will include me and Nicole. So you got to be strictly just hands off completely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you want to go in with the contractor, and they're going to look at the home, and they're going to give you an estimate of what it's going to cost to rehab your home or do the upgrades. So what that would mean is, say that same example at 100,000, say you need about $50,000 worth of work. So we're going to qualify you on 150,000, not the
Mm-hmm.
100,000 that you originally purchased the property for. We're going to qualify you on 150,000. But one of the greatest benefits that Nicole and I can agree on with this particular product is even though they put in 50,000 worth of work, that home may be worth 200,000, 250,000.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
you're coming in what they call forced equity into the property, and typically
Mm-hmm.
when you find a home, that's not what you get.
Exactly. I mean, like the one thing, like I said, I think the beauty in this whole process is knowing that you're customizing your home.
For
Like,
sure.
and then the great thing about like the home already being settled, you know how when you get new construction, and I'm not deterring anyone from doing that if that's your journey, but you have to wait for the house to settle on the ground. It moves, it shifts, and with anything, something's going to pop up. I don't care whether it's new. Like you can get a new vehicle and still have, you know, you know, I don't know cars, but you have car problems. So that's the same that happens with the house, even if it's new. With this reconstruction, not saying, I'm sorry, there's renovation, not saying that things won't be wrong with it, but knowing that the house has already had years to settle. It has already been in a mature neighborhood, like everything has matured around it. To me, is a great benefit of customizing a already mature home.
Correct. Absolutely. And it to me, it just gives you have more control of that situation.
Exactly.
Well, there's a few things I like about this program. The fact that you're looking at houses that a lot of people cannot purchase.
Yeah,
That's the great thing about this. So instead of you being in the rat race with everyone else,
because that's what it is right
yeah,
now.
it's crazy out there. But and you can still look at turnkey properties, but if you want to
Hmm.
have this as an additional option, I
Exactly.
heavily would suggest this because once again, you can go in and say, all right, I could redo the carpet, I could paint in here, I could get new appliances, I could put in a new kitchen, I could put
Yeah,
in the bathroom, and you're not paying that high ticket item or pay the higher premium to purchase that property. And
exactly.
once again, because if you bought the home the way it was, like I say, using the same scenario I gave you, if you're buying it for 150,000 is your loan amount, but if you bought it for 250, 300,000, your mortgage payment would be a lot more. So to me, it's
Exactly.
a win all the way around with that.
And you made a valid point. It does reduce the pool of competition right now of other buyers competing for, this high ticketed price item. So you have the property that people have overlooked, which also gives you some negotiating, power because a lot of these homes, they're sitting on the market for sometimes like 90 days or more, and it's like you don't have a bunch of people flocking to that one property, which
Right.
makes it easier for your negotiating and you getting the best price for your buck.
Absolutely. And so that's more the standard. Moving on to the, I'm sorry, the limited. Moving on to
Yeah.
the standard. is when you're looking into the major repairs. And as you
Mm-hmm.
here up to the top, major repair or rehab or repairs, no maximum amount of renovation costs, which is really good. Minimum repair cost is 5,000, which we said that a little earlier. And you must have a a HUD consultant with this project because you have quite a few moving parts and want to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that stay on task and that the home is completed within a certain amount of time. And I know every project is going to be different, but
Exactly.
standard they're allowing up to 12 months now for that home to be completed. So
Oh wow,
that's
that is a change.
yeah,
And
they
just
changed
to
that longer.
reiterate, I'm
Say that
sorry, go
again.
ahead. I was gonna say, just to reiterate, when it says no maximum amount of renovation costs, it still has to be within the amount that you're pre-approved for, because we're still working within the same certain metric and a certain budget. So you have to be, your overall pre-approval has to be, you can't cap that.
Correct. You have to still cover that. So whatever the maximum amount that you put into repairs, we'll put that on top of the purchase price, and you have to qualify for that amount. Absolutely right.
Exactly.
That's a good point. A few items that's here I want to go over is the different property types. So you see they have single family homes, 2 to 4 family units, which is really good. And I want to
Hmm.
stop there because that's what they call like a home hack, house hack.
Hmm.
If you purchase that home, as long as you move into one of the units, you could use this for a 2 or 3K, renovate the other units. More than likely charge more for rent now because now you just upgraded the home
Yep.
itself. And so your minimum you'll be paying for your mortgage payment. But my thing I always preach, you want to have that positive cash flow. So having enough units where you're not paying a mortgage payment and you're making cash flow on top of that. And just to not that everyone knows this, but with the FHA loan, with the projected rental income from that property itself, you can use that to help you qualify. So not even with the income that you're already generating, you could go off of the future rent for the
Hmm.
property. So when we request the appraisal, they will add in also the amount of rent that you should get from each one of these units. So I love that idea.
That
Townhomes.
is decent.
Go ahead. I'm
That's
sorry.
decent. No, no, I was agreeing with you. Like that is a great idea
Yeah.
for revenue and where you're living.
Absolutely. So if it's a duplex, you can do that. If it's a multi-unit up to 4 units, you still look good. And they just give you a few other properties. So depending on where you live at, I know not
Hmm.
every area is going to have the property types that's here. And they just want to make sure that it's all covered through the United States. So depending on where you
Hmm.
live, that's what we have covered. But yeah, so we want to give you just a basic flow of how the program works. And what I would like to do now is, Nicole, let's show them the video of you
Yes.
home so you can get a better idea of how a potential home will look like if you went with the renovation. Like I said, this home that we found is more upgrades more than anything else. That's the first thing,
Hmm.
and you should see here. So, Nicole, why did you choose this particular property uh,
Um,
for the renovation?
this one, I picked this one because of it had a lot of factors for what my buyers are looking for. So I had the mindset of one of the buyers I'm working with, which is location. A lot of people are location, 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 because those are things you can't change about the home.
Right.
So I picked a home that had great location. In addition to that, the home needed, like you stated, a lot more cosmetic updates. So with this particular property, when you'll see through the tour that a lot of the work is surface. Now, let me give a disclosure. I am not a home inspector. I am not a contractor, but I'm
For
talking
sure.
about from what I can see and what I've been doing for years, what I've noticed about the property. So I wanted to show a home that didn't look intimidating. And I wanted to show a realistic idea of what a lot of buyers are going to be faced with that they're probably going to want to go through if they're doing the renovation loan, where you're not talking about like a true gut, like the home is gutted out. This home had a great foundation to start with, where you just needed a couple of tweaks to customize it and make it feel like new.
Okay. Well, great. All right. Well, let's take a look at this home here so you guys get an idea of what me and Nicole are referring to. But let's get it started.
Whew.
And it was cold this day.
Edit that
It
out.
was so cool.
Nope. So I'm your dedicated real estate expert.
And we're going to show you this 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath home with a little over 2,000 square feet. As you enter, you're going to find this room is a little closed off, so you have to keep your imagination open. Today, we will be touring this hidden gem, and we can explore the possibilities of doing a renovation loan and seeing how you can change this diamond in the rough into your diamond.
And I noticed already just the carpet itself will be.
So it does need a facelift, okay? Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. You will probably want to do carpet, painting, depending on your renovation loan type. You can even make like an open floor plan. So in this room, I'm sure you would want to imagine it. Let's say if you got the loan type where you can't make it an open floor plan, just by doing some carpet, taking off, like having like the windows more open, the window treatments are a little heavy, flooring, painting, and even actually you can like resurface this fireplace.
I was thinking the same. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So let's pause right there. So let's go back just a tad bit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give it, okay, so we kind of see the full room. All right, Nicole, so what are we seeing in this room here?
So in my design mind, take the whole flooring out, put some, you could do, I know a lot of people are doing like the vinyl floors. You could do vinyl floor, you could do hardwood, but that would be more expensive. So changing the flooring, like I said, resurfacing the fireplace, the mantle, giving it a more modern look, depending on your style, painting. But for the most part, in this particular area, it didn't require a lot of renovating. It's just changing flooring and a good paint.
Gotcha. All right, so let's move on here. Skip along. Here we go. All right.
Carpet's really not big anymore unless you're doing it in bedrooms. So you can do new tiling. Like I said, possibly opening up the house to make it look bigger and more functional for your family. Now the kitchen. We're taking it back, a couple of decades. But in a home, when you ask a lot of buyers, what's really important is the kitchen and the bathrooms. So just by changing the cabinetry, countertops, getting more modern appliances, it will allow you to make the house more modern, which will actually add to the value of this home. And with your renovation loan, you're able to do that all in one payment.
Gotcha.
So that's the benefits of doing.
All right.
This kitchen, like the Brady Bunch and all that, took me back. Right. So yeah, take out the whole flooring.
The flooring, the cabinets, new appliances.
Mm-hmm.
All of that will be
light fixtures. All of those things will customize that whole area and actually upgrade your home, because that adds value, kitchen, bathrooms, and all those things. So that, I wouldn't save anything in that kitchen, even though the cabinets were like wood, but definitely you can even change the layout, add an island. A lot of people do islands now, things of that nature, but the whole kitchen also needed to be updated.
Gotcha. Yeah, and to me, I would have fun with this.
Yeah.
Look, you could come in and pick out, new appliances and do it the way you want to do it. You could change, like you said, change the countertops, the cabinets, and just have fun with it. And so
play with textures, colors, all of it.
That kitchen, that's like one of the first things people like to upgrade anyway. And it just brings in that wow factor. And like I said, you get in the house for a really good deal as well. Yeah.
Renovation.
And I'll also add, just like you see the appliances that's in here, if you wanted to upgrade your appliances. Let's skip ahead. I just said
that. So having lighter colors can actually make the room feel bigger.
Gotcha.
Then you have this room. You can almost make it a study. Once again,
I just realized I didn't pick up the fact there's 2 fireplaces in there.
Yeah, I picked that up. You can save money on like these cold winters. But there's nothing like a a beautiful fireplace that adds to me character to a whole space. It makes it feel warm, and you can go really regal and like luxurious. A lot of people like even small little things that if you wanted to fix it up, a lot of people are taking out the whole like the wood burning part of the fireplace and replacing it with like the electric inserts to make
Right.
it like an electric thing. But once again, on the first floor, you really see it's a lot of changing flooring and painting.
Gotcha. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just mute the video, and you can
Yeah.
just kind of walk us through it, so you're not repeating it because you basically
Okay.
same thing, but just let us know what you're seeing here, and
All right. Pause. Can you go back for me? So once again, you'll see in the area to my, is it to get to my left in the video, you will see this is why it's important to, when you do the process, to go in with a contractor because
right,
there's a stain on the wall where by looking at it, you don't know is that possibly mold, things of that nature. So going in with your team, like at this point of the process, when we're doing a renovation loan, you'll have myself and you'll have your contractor with you. It will be important for things like this because they'll be pointing out, okay, you know, your full budget for the renovation is going to be about, let's say 40,000 or 75,000.
right.
It's important to have them come with us because they're going to be giving you price tags about how much each thing will cost, which will help you. You need to stay in budget, and it will help you figure out if this is the right property for you. So, like I said, on the wall there was some staining, so you have your contractor point out like, "Hey, this looks like we might need to break that down to the studs or investigate that further."
Gotcha. Now, is it on the towards the window?
Yeah, you see it? It's down in the corner right there. It almost looks like it's a
Oh yeah,
shadow.
yeah, yeah, right there.
See? I'm doing my Vanna White pointing out like, hey, look at this.
Hmm. All right, gotcha. So we can skip ahead. We went to the next room.
Now I'm discussing that's a powder room. And just from where I'm standing, of course, flooring needs to get done. Um, new fixtures in the bathroom.
Hmm.
If you're trying to save, the sink wasn't, it's kind of modern. So definitely changing the toilet, the cabinetry, things of that nature will help upgrade the space
Gotcha.
and the doors.
You got
That's the
more.
laundry area, which doesn't require much. If you wanted to close it off, add some doors, you can, or sliders. Um, Now we are about to enter the basement. I remember this part because I was telling you, like, hopefully neither one of us will fall.
Terrified to go down there. Yeah. Those who,
Yes.
we got to watch you go down these steps.
Yeah, so I was testing the banister to make sure I wouldn't embarrass myself. But in that basement, it was unfinished. So for this particular space, you add some drywall down there, and then you can, it's a partial basement.
Okay.
That will also, it doesn't add livable square footage um, because there's no egress for you to exit out, but it will allow you, as far as functionality, another space for you to be with your family and another entertaining area for you within your home, which a
So,
lot of people are
in
utilizing.
order for you said it has to have an egress. Now,
Yeah,
does it have to have a bathroom down there as well, or does that really
no,
matter? Okay.
no. For it to be considered livable area, it has to have basically an escape route.
Right. Okay. That's good to know.
Hmm.
All right. This I think you're going back up the steps here.
Yeah.
All right. And so let's add this.
Upstairs of this home,
We're back
the
upstairs.
carpet needs to be changed, of course. Um, Painting, like we're going to keep saying throughout the whole home, needs to get done.
Yeah, that carpet on the steps. You take that out as
Yeah,
well.
take that out. Yeah. I'm going to start you off in the master bedroom. Right now, it does have like a basic kind of look, but you can turn it into a luxury suite. And the small little things you can do to make it more like a luxury suite, I'll say, is in the bathroom. Because when you think of a bedroom, the the master bath is big. changing the fixtures, the cabinetry.
Oh, wow.
Definitely a new shower and tub. This one just has a shower, but you can have, a shower and tub. But I wouldn't settle. A lot of people think, you know what, when I'm buying a home, I can't find what I want. So I would say don't settle for almost perfect when you can create
it, right.
what you want.
Correct.
The tile, you might be able to keep that if you're getting tight on your budget. If it's something that can be saved in a renovation loan, save it because it will save your coins and you still want to make sure you're falling within the criteria of your loan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm very big on that. Save what you can. So once again, you're just talking about painting, changing the light switches, small little fixes. This room, I'm going to highlight how I think there might be a little further investigation because of some cracking on the ceiling. You want to investigate the roof.
Right. I think, you pointed out now.
Yep. So when we're touring a property, depending on which one a client will be approved for, you want to make sure, like if you are doing a limited, you want to make sure that the roof is in, good order because you have a certain cap. And depending on how big that property is, you don't want to use all the, but I don't think the roof is actually going to be approved. So when we're touring the house, I typically look for staining on the ceilings, cracking, separation, things of that nature. Once again, having a contractor there, they will be able to investigate further to see, hey, this is not going to be a good buy. But pretty much for this particular house, it's just surface, paint, floor, changing all the bathrooms and kitchen.
And you actually brought up a good point. They can also help you eliminate a bad purchase from a good purchase. So between the contractor and you yourself.
Exactly.
The idea is you want it to have equity in the property. So not only be able to upgrade the home, but you also want to put the proper upgrades in there that's going to increase your value.
Exactly.
If it's a bad purchase, so say you didn't have that contractor that's there or a realtor, you're trying to do this yourself, you may not have the eyes for that, or have the knowledge to be able to add in what is needed. And just to add, again, what we spoke about earlier, when you start the process, you're going to have an appraiser that's going to come out there. And based upon that bid list that they have, the breakdown of what needs to be upgraded, the appraiser is going to take all that into account, and they're going to give you the value, the after repair value. So once everything is done, what the home should be worth. So when you're looking at these items, you want to, I heard on another training I was going through, you want to look at the things that you need first.
Exactly.
You want to go with the needs, and then from there, okay, what's going to add value, and see how everything looks. Because what I've seen so far, you're just talking about coats of paint, removing the carpet, new flooring, and stuff like that. So you still have a lot of room in the budget.
Exactly. That's why I said this particular home was a great one for us to show, because it doesn't have a lot of things that need to get updated.
Yeah. So I haven't seen anything that, and I'm not a contractor. Just upgrades, a bunch of upgrades.
Yeah. It's funny, all of our disclosures and disclaimers. We are not a contractor, okay? But this bathroom was a whole vibe.
Right. Yeah.
Took you back to locker room feels.
And honestly, I think we're going to see the same thing throughout.
Exactly. So it's another bedroom of paint, floors, and that's pretty much it. So when you see these homes, if you're having the mindset of like you're trying to purchase a house that will be functional for you and your family, of course, looking at it without knowing that you had this loan option, you would feel like this doesn't fit what I need, needs too many updates. But just knowing that, okay, you know what, I'm going to come in here and, I'm approved for this amount and I'm able to make these small little changes. Now I pretty much have like, not new construction, but I have this renovated home that I got within my budget, and I didn't have to go against like the whole pool of buyers and get outbid for it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think to me, this is the selling point for me, is the fact that you're not competing with everybody else. Because unfortunately, Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that everyone's looking for a home at the same time, but we want to get
Great
our
thing.
people on the contract and not
Exactly.
out just putting in offers nonstop. So yes, I think this is basically towards the end
Of
of
the
the.
tour.
But yeah, so let's go to real quick here, just the comparison that we found here, and just so you know, this is comparing it to your conventional loan, your Freddie Mac loan. So this is all conventional. But today, what we're discussing is just the 203K and how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reemphasize what we had on the other document. And one of the best things about it, when you go to the maximum loan to value, that's the part that I really love. So you still just put down 3.5%. All right. And depending on the situation itself, as you can see, it says up to 110% of the as is completed. So that's good. That's really good. It's as long as it's your primary resident, which it has to be because it's your
Mm-hmm.
K loan, which is FHA, it has to be. So that's really good there. So yeah, so our job to help you along the way is to show you how this program works.
Mm-hmm.
Look at different homes, you get an idea of what homes will qualify for this. And another thing I want to add to it, I think is beneficial to the seller. It all depends on how they look at it. If I was a seller or the listing agent on the property, and I know for a fact that it has to be a renovation loan or a cash offer from an investor, the
Mm-hmm.
difference between the two, and I think me and Nicole, we already discussed this already. We have an investor, they have to look at this project totally different. So they
Exactly.
really have to drive that price down in order for them to make the purchase because they have to go in and do the rehab, but they want to make
Mm-hmm.
money off of it. When you're buying the home, you're not trying to necessarily make money off the property. So it's two different strategies that's there. Uh, but going back to the seller perspective, using that same example of that 100,000 purchase, if I was an investor, I may have to offer like 60 to 70,000 for that property.
Exactly.
Unlike with you, you're offering 100,000, so that's beneficial for the seller to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they understand that the lender that we're working with are qualified and they do a lot of renovation loans, they'll feel a lot more comfortable waiting the additional 30, 45 days or whatever it takes to get this transaction done because there's a high chance they're going to make a lot more money off of this transaction and the listing agent too, because if you
Exactly.
drive that price down, everyone is going to make less money off of that.
That's actually a very, very, very valid point. When you think about, because a lot of these projects you will know that investors are going to look at. But like you said, investors are coming in at wholesale price
Right.
where they need to
Yeah.
make their profit after everything. Whereas for you, when I, like you said, if I have my seller who's looking at the property, of course I'm going to tell them to go with the one that meets all the, it's not just the amount, but the terms that they're looking for. But of course, I'm gonna go. They're probably gonna go with the one that gives them more money because ultimately they're gonna possibly get like 40 to 30,000 more than what a investor would offer.
Absolutely. And that they don't have to worry about going and doing the work because the buyer is basically saying that, look, I'm going to purchase this property as
As
is.
is.
Say the seller doesn't have the funds to make the repairs. And now that you don't have to worry
Exactly.
about it. And one other pro I want to add on to it is the fact that say you're on a contract with a traditional FHA loan. And
Mm-hmm.
when we get the appraisal done, major items pop up there. And the seller
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have money. You can actually convert a regular FHA loan to a 203K.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that could
That's
save the
a
bill.
great point.
Yeah, and if it doesn't have to be like a major project. So say there's a situation where the appliances need to be upgraded or just minor work needs to be done, but with the regular FHA loan, it won't pass the regular appraiser because it needs those items taken care of. The seller doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about doing that. All we have to do is transition over to a 2 or 3K and get the work done, especially like with the limited because there's no minimum there. So say you only needed like $9,000 or $10,000 worth of work, and hell, while you were in there, you might as well do some other things while you're doing the loan. And so there's a high chance it may even increase the value on top of
Exactly. And you get to save the deal. You get to, the ultimate goal is to get your client into a home to start their journey. So you get to save the deal. That is to me like game changer.
yeah. So I know, and I always like to find what are the cons. Like just you guys keep giving me all the pros and
Dun dun dun. Thank you, Gary.
No, because when
I'm
I do these
kidding.
videos, I wanna the things I think of. I'm like, okay. Let's get. There's got to be something
Exactly.
that's
What's the
there.
catch?
Yeah. So you may have found a few things too, Nicole, but I was thinking what was going through the video. So the cons itself, I would say that it's a longer process, obviously, because
Hmm.
you have contractors that's going to be in your home that has to do the renovation. So you're not moving in right away. So this is not a project
Exactly.
where it's a quick turnaround. If you
Hmm.
have to move into a property and you have a very short window, the 2 or 3K is not the loan for you. You don't want to go this
Hmm.
route because it's going to just add frustration into the process. And the purpose of this program is to allow someone to make a purchase with minimum down, and you can do a
Hmm.
renovation to do all your upgrades. It doesn't have to always be repairs, but upgrades. So if you are on a time crunch, I wouldn't recommend this. The
Hmm.
other thing would be is, of course, you're going to be working with contractors. So we're going to
Exactly.
lean on who we choose as a company, and possibly, well, the lender's going to do this anyway. So when the
Hmm.
contractors get approved by the lender, they're going to call the referrals that they have that's listed, and they want to get an idea of what it's like to work with that contractor, ensure that they're not going to tie up the transaction. So finding a good contractor, that's not always in our hands, and
Hmm.
so we can find a really good contractor. It could turn out to be a pro, but that can be a con because you just never know how that part is going to turn itself out. Um, that's the only thing I could really think of that could be a con because
So
the
you're
pro,
basically saying there's not really that is really not a catch. You know how like the
you
hook
have
is
your
like,
one-off
okay,
situations,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
situations, but yeah,
yeah.
nothing that I could recall.
Honestly, looking over the program, when you set the expectation, there won't be a catch. When you set the expectation, like, hey, it's going to take some time just for the renovations to be done for you to move in.
Right,
Um, when you set the expectation of, hey, make sure that the contractor is vetted, in addition to us vetting them, also read reviews, ask as
right,
many questions as you can.
right.
Once you get past those points, to me it's smooth selling. So that's the benefit of if you do everything up front, there's
Mhm.
really nothing that's going to, I mean, of course, with any type of construction things may pop up within that, but there's really no catch to the actual program itself.
Right. Yeah, setting the proper expectations. Yeah, it's not a quick turnaround with the situation. So
Yeah.
a few of the things that we didn't add, and of course, if you want this information, so the documents that I showed you from HUD, just let me know. Comment below. Just type in
Yes.
HUD, and what I'll do is I'll send you the spreadsheets that we have that breaks all this down. And the lenders that we work with, they specialize in these programs. And Affluent Mortgage, we chose these lenders on purpose. And just so you know, the flow of how I did that is I looked up all the lenders because there's a area on the HUD website that shows you who all the major players with renovation loans, and that's how we
Hmm.
know what lenders to go with. So we have four right now that specialize in the renovation loan, and depending on the client, that's how we decide which what lender we want to go with to get this set up with you. So they, like I said, they specialize in renovation loans, and they do it all. So not only you work with me and Nicole, but you have a team that's going to work with you to help expedite the process to make sure that it flows the way it should. So, two things that I didn't bring up. You'll say, okay, well, what if the project is more than what we anticipated? And it happens, right? So, say for an
Hmm.
example, the contractor, you're doing a standard loan, and they, open up one of the walls, and they found that there's issues with the plumbing, or
Hmm.
the room has to be redesigned, wherever the case may be. There is a contingency that we have in there, like a reserve that's there within the loan itself. And normally that could be between 10 to 20%. And so
Hmm.
as we go through, we look at the bids, they'll make a decision on how much they need the reserves to be. So that would be covered. So you don't have to worry about them going over budget, because if they do, there is a cushion that's applied there as well. So that's another thing that we always like to let the client know that you're good. And the other thing about that is, and you may not think about this, but I'm gonna let you know. So if, say for an example, we had that contingency amount, say it's 15 grand, but we
Hmm.
didn't need that. So what, the money doesn't just disappear. So they'll take that 15 grand and they'll put it back towards the principal balance. So say the loan amount is 100,000 and we had 10
Hmm.
grand that was left over, your new loan amount would be 90,000. That's how that works. And so that's how we figure that part out. So this program has been well thought out. It's been
Yeah.
changed times over the years, and so now you're starting to see a lot of people using the renovation loans now because uh, it makes more sense now, and it's not as stressful as it used to be, like with any new program. So something that I would definitely want to take a look at, and let Nicole know, me myself, that you're
Yes.
like this.
If you're in Delaware and you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, give me a call. And definitely, if you're looking for a renovation project, give me a call.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's all we have for you today, guys. Hopefully, that information is valuable for you. Like I said, we're trying to do things in 2025 that we haven't done before. And like I said, the market is changing. So we're trying to find a way to get you on a contract. So why not
Mm-hmm.
go in with a brand new, not a brand new home, but
Yeah,
go in this project, get your house upgraded, and get it the way that you want. Like I said, this is
exactly.
another way of doing that. Everyone else is doing the turnkey. So if everyone is looking at turnkey, I got to find another strategy to get our clients under contract way faster. And that way you can tell your friends and family about the experience that you had, and they can do the same exact things. But Nicole, as
Exactly.
always, thank you for hanging out with me for once again. And we're
Thank you
going to
for
be doing
having me
more
again.
videos, new
Yes.
projects that we have going on. And I look forward to working with you again, Nicole.
Yes, thank you.
All right, see you guys.
All right, bye.